Hey Ryan, what is Isaiah Cage okay?
Yeah, Isaiah's all right. He's got a little ding for the preseason game, but right now we feel like he's going to be available for the game. We feel comfortable with him suiting up for us on Thursday.
Well, that's good. And what about a guy like Eric Rogers?
Eric's kind of a question mark right now. I feel like we could force Eric back in the roster and make it work. Is that the right decision for Eric as a football player and us as a football club? So right now, I think Eric's probably a week or two away. We're going to see how that's going to play out.
Hey Ryan, I was at practice today. Banks has a. I was surprised actually. He looks like Speedy Banks. What's been your impression of him?
He's been great. He's been a great addition. He's fit in the locker room, fit in the classroom, doing the things we ask him to do on the football field. So, I've been really impressed with Speedy, and I look forward to building more as far as roles and what he's going to do for our offense.
Are you do you plan on using him just like another normal receiver? Are there certain, without getting into your playbook, are there certain concepts that you want him to get involved with?
Yeah, I think down the field stuff. We got to have some ball to hand plays for him as well. Maybe some fly sweep stuff. I know he's good on the perimeter when it comes to that. But at any stage, if we can put him back as punt returner too and let him get going. So we feel like he can add value as a returner, but at the same time for us, he's really going to focus on being a receiver for us.
And Ryan, a guy like Chris Edwards. Obviously, he's not going to be available for you guys. Does he have a role for you guys until he's able to get back on the field?
We'll see. I think that's kind of what we got on pencil in as a returner, and then can he add value to our offense as far as a receiver? Maybe a ball in hand guy, but right now he's kind of on the back burner, more of a secondary thought.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. I was referring to Chris Edwards, your Sam linebacker. Like he's not going to play obviously for a while.
But Chris is going to be out for the first few games anyway, suspension wise, right? So unfortunately, that's the world we're living in. So he understands that, and right now he's just being a supportive teammate.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Will he be able to be on the sideline on Thursday and provide like an extra set of eyes for you guys?
Yeah, he can. He'll be there, be supportive. I just really look for him to be a supportive teammate. We've hired coaches to do all that stuff on the sidelines. He's hired to be a player. So unfortunately, he's not a player for us for the first few weeks, but hopefully we'll get him back soon.
And Ryan, my last, area is Royce Metchie. What was it about him and his game that made you guys go out and acquire him?
Well, I think Royce is a local kid. Gives a little bit of notoriety as far as our football club around the community. Great in the community as well. We're looking forward to Royce, being involved in that outside of football. But Royce is just a solid football player, solid human, and we feel like he's going to add a lot to our room. Defensively, Corey was a big supporter of him, and we just felt like it was no brainer to bring in the organization. It's like he made us better the day he signed.
Is he potentially a defensive captain for you guys?
Well, I view him in that light. I know we have a few guys that are defensive captains in everybody's mind, right? And we have 3 or 4 we really can hang our hat on that can run our football club. In that, I guess that position as being a captain, but we'll see. I think Enoch's kind of got that role coming from last year, and then we'll keep building with some of these other guys. But I think there's 4 or 5 guys on our defense that could position into that role.
And Ryan, lastly, how do you handle captaincy on this team? Do you want one guy, special teams, both sides of the ball? Like how do you address naming captains? Do you want the players to do that, or will the coaching staff appoint them?
Yeah, the players will be involved in that, right? So we put together a list, let the players vote on it. You'll see on game day who our 4 captains are. So right now we're going to roll in with a total of 4 for each game. Offense, defense, special teams, and then the 4th guy is kind of the guy that's been, looked at as being one of the guys that's on the edge of being one of our team captains. Maybe he's new to the team, he's not been here for a while. So we feel good about 4 or 5 guys. We'll announce that on game day.
Oh, thanks a lot, Ryan. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you.
Matt Shinetti, FSN.
Ryan, good to see you. In terms of just building off of what Frank was talking about with respect to Brandon, but also Jagger Davis and Andrew Harris, statistically, you look at all the categories those guys will be filling into: rushing, 30-plus big play, pass completion, and pass and rushing yards. And the Argos were in the bottom half of the statistics last year. Beyond just the execution, but more to their presence, work ethic that they bring. What has impressed you just about what they've offered so far, even without having a regular season game yet?
Well, I think, just they've been in the fire. They've been in big moments. They've played in big games, and they've thrived in big games. So that's one of the reasons why they're here. I think if you look at what we're doing offensively, we're looking at run the ball a little bit more downhill. We expect to do that with Andrew, right? But at the same time, offensive line wise and receiver wise, there was a lot of meat left on the bone last year that just mental mistakes for whatever reasons, not blocking the edge, certain things we could do better to be better in that area. So short yardage is a key for us. 2nd and 4 or less, we got to start moving the chains. We get in the red zone with the same situations. We got to be able to, at least get to 3rd and 1 and gives ourselves a chance to go forward on 3rd down. So I feel like Andrew's going to add that element to our game. And then also out of the backfield, I think Andrew is very underappreciated when it comes to that. I think, he's a ball in hand guy, hand the ball off to him. But when you put him in space on a Mike linebacker, he's a pretty darn good receiver.
And just about Jared, watching him, just the educational aspect that he brings. He was doing that, and obviously, I imagine you saw that in your time with him in Calgary, but saw him do that a lot with Hamilton, and just seeing him, he's a very details guy. And what do you think that brings to the defense?
Well, I think he gives a little added element to the defense as far as details when, he sits in the D-line room and he has an answer of why he does something, or, hey, how about this? He's very well thought out. It's not like him just reacting and playing football. He's got a plan for everything. So I look forward to, being around him and hearing more of that. He's just going to add more to the room. He's going to make Shane Ray better. He's going to make Oakland better. He's going to make us better as a football club. I mean, you just look at the guy. I mean, how many guys can block him one-on-one? So if we get him on a one-on-one matchup, I look forward to seeing him do it compared to having an answer to how to block him.
And finally, how much you already have? I mean, Shane Ray was part of a Super Bowl winning team. So you have guys, Sean Oakman, played for Baylor and played for a very good college program. You have guys who have had to be on the big stage and have the expectation, but a lot of the guys that you brought in, namely Davis and Harris and Banks, are culture guys who came from winning cultures. Have you had conversations with them about how they play a role in building the culture here?
A little bit, going into it as we're getting through free agency and getting those guys signed up, it was kind of my expectations for them, kind of how I felt like they could fit in the building and what they can bring to the football club. So especially the locker room. So those all three of those guys know. They're doing it naturally. It's not like I have to hold their hand through it. They've been doing a great job, especially Speedy. I know, certain folks have a different opinion of him. Just, sometimes he reacts a certain way when things don't go his way. I haven't felt that from Speedy at all. He's been awesome. And I'm telling you what, he's a standout man. So been very impressed by him. Jared already knew, right? So I already knew what I had with Jared. Andrew knew a little bit through, Coach Costanza and seeing him from afar, but Speedy's been the one that's been pretty pleasing to see what kind of man that he is.
Thanks, Ryan.
Next question from David Morisuti from Fansided.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for doing this. I wanted to get your thoughts on the receiving position, and are you still feel like you're still trying to solidify that and how you want that to line up going into Thursday?
Well, I think just across the board, you look over the last few years, I mean, you're going to have different rosters week to week, right? So right now we're trying to establish our top 5 receivers. I feel like we have that for this week. Guys are hurt. We understand that, and that's going to be a continuing occurrence for us, right? So right now we're good with our 5. We feel like we have a good 7 or 8 receivers. We can move those guys around. We feel like we have 2 good tailbacks. Really 3 good tailbacks. So we feel really good about where we're at offensively, personnel-wise.
And I wanted to get just specifically on Curly Giddens. He was a standout for you guys last year in his second year in the league. What are your expectations for him going into this season?
Well, I think Curly's going to take the next step. We got to give him more opportunities, of course. I thought he played really good football for us, especially down the stretch. Had a great camp last year, had another good camp. So I think Curly's established himself as a, for sure starter, Canadian starter, but I don't even see him as Canadian starter. I think Canadian is just a designated position, right? But Curly's a darn good football player, and we believe in Curly. He makes our locker room better. He makes us tougher as a football club. He shows up with his hard hat every day and goes to work. So Curly's one of those guys that guys can learn from example, how to go about their process each day, how to get better as a football player, and then how you can add to the football club. So Curly's been pretty pleasing for me to coach, and it's been pretty exciting to see his growth.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Ryan.
And finally, Frank Stanici.
Hey Ryan, how you doing? Beautiful day out there, by the way.
Nice day. Can't complain.
The irony of being alone in first after week 1 and having not played yet. How are you using the bye aside from enjoying being in first in preparation for the Owls who played and you've had a chance to look at them early and have a scouting report to work with?
Well, I think was a great example was to watch them play against Calgary, right? So both offense and defensively that they're running very similar to what we're doing. So you have a good idea kind of how they respond to those two different schemes. But it was just fun to watch the games and get going again. So it's a great example for our players to kind of see the different tempo, the aggressiveness of the defenses compared to the preseason. So and just the physical atmosphere, right, in all the games and competitive atmosphere too. So I think our guys are understanding what's at stake.
Yeah, as you were mentioning about being a Canadian doesn't necessarily mean they're a Canadian. Did you get a chance to see the quarterbacks in the BC game? There were 3 of them there, which is pretty unusual. You've been in the league quite a while. Did you get a sense that this would be happening now that it's happening?
Well, I think it's just a matter of time, right? I mean, there's a lot of good Canadian quarterbacks across the board that aren't in our league yet. They're playing CIS, or they're getting their opportunities. So I look forward to it. I hope more guys do get an opportunity. Wart went out there and played his butt off. He can run it, he can throw it. And we had a high draft grade of him coming out. So it doesn't surprise me one bit. And I think it'll continue to grow that way.
Well, congratulations on starting the season finally and the enthusiasm that obviously you and the players feel. Thanks for this.
Yeah, thanks, Frank.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, have a good one.